Will Ripple get the final ruling today and win against the SEC? So, regardless of whether that should actually happen, we're going to take a detailed look at it and what news is currently circulating out there. I can tell you today is likely to be quite volatile. Similar to yesterday, we'll take a quick look at what was going on there. So, a complete roller coaster of emotions, totally wild. And because more and more people have been asking me, I'm going to share my trading setup for today. Share it with you, completely transparent, and then we'll see what comes of it. So, I would say let's dive right in and not waste any time. We'll see each other after the intro. But before we dive in, a big thank you to you. It's crazy the support you all deliver day after day here. Yesterday's video also got an incredible number of views. In total, over 1,200 new subscribers have joined in the last 28 days. The community keeps growing and growing and growing. We're getting closer to the 10K. And I need to come up with a special something to drop when we actually hit the 10K. But the view counts are absolutely wild. Thank you very much. And even if you want to support my work, my hours of research, and of course this channel, it's completely free of charge. Just leave a quick like. You can find it under this video. And then let's take a look. The last count was around 250 likes for the video. Maybe this time we'll even break the 300. And if you might be watching this as your first video and are looking for a channel that provides you with fact-based, honest, transparent news without the hype, that delivers the most important daily crypto news, then welcome. You can also become an uptrender. Completely free of charge for you. Just leave a free subscription here and feel free to activate the bell so you don't miss any important information. And now, let's dive in. I'm pretty sure that yesterday some people were close to a nervous breakdown because of all the ups and downs. You definitely need nerves of steel for that, no doubt. Yesterday, the first report came out. Here are the inflation numbers. Unfortunately, they didn't go as expected. And accordingly, there was a little dip here. So, I've pulled up a Nasdaq chart and you can see it here, bam. It first went down. It was similar with the decline in Bitcoin. If you look here, there was a big correction down. But the big question is, why did it go back up again? It even went beyond the starting value, and now there has been a bit of a correction phase again. A quick look at XRP. I'll get into that in detail with the trading setup shortly. It's been absolutely sideways since last Friday. We're seeing XRP moving within a range of plus or minus 10 cents. Let's see if there's finally going to be a breakout, because people thought, yeah, the breakout comes from the downtrender. It came, but it wasn't exactly spectacular, more like a sideways movement. I summarized the events of the day in this tweet last night. By the way, if you want to stay up to date, I don't mean those videos that just give you a summary of the day, but rather the very latest. I post tweets more frequently throughout the day, so feel free to follow me. Check the description, there's the link. In any case, Donald Trump really saved the whole situation. You can't see it any other way, because the inflation numbers triggered a significant correction. Yes, then at 4 p.m. there was another speech from Paul, who emphasized again in front of the Senate that we need to wait on interest rate cuts, but he kept it completely neutral. And he will especially focus on the producer price index today. So we should definitely keep an eye on that. The numbers are coming out today at 2:30 p.m. Overall, the markets have reacted quite positively to this. And then Trump came in with a bang, just dropping the news that, hey folks, there are talks with Putin, and they also spoke with Zelensky, and there are supposed to be negotiations to hopefully end this whole Ukraine-Russia conflict relatively quickly, and that was definitely. And with that, I'll jump to my latest tweet, because we definitely need to keep an eye on what happens at 2:30 p.m. today, as the producer price index is coming out. And yes, you can say that last month the actual numbers were below the forecasts, but it's still quite high. So we are talking about producer prices which have almost doubled year on year since September. Double it. The experts are now expecting unchanged numbers. However, if the producer prices are below the experts' forecasts, ideally significantly lower than in December, then that could be positive for the stock and crypto markets. However, if the producer prices stagnate and end up exceeding the experts' expectations and also surpassing last month, then that would unfortunately be the case. Another indication that this inflation issue in the US is not resolved. And I don't want to say it too loudly, but if we look at yesterday's numbers, the inflation figures were also above expectations. So let's just wait and see. And before we move on to XRP and the trading setup, here's a message for you. Look at what the big players out there are doing. Goldman Sachs is betting billions on crypto. Why do you think they're doing that? A juicy increase of 2,000% in the holdings of those that have been less successful so far, which is very positive. Formulated at this point, Ethereum ETFs. At the same time, the holdings in Bitcoin ETFs were increased to over $1.5 billion. And that in the fourth quarter of 2024, of course, you have to look at whether it was around the US elections, then there probably would have been more money flowing in. But still, the big players are still buying in. And the retailers are either leaving the entire market frustrated or in great fear, often selling at a loss, which is not very smart. Because even if we take another quick look at the Bitcoin spot ETFs, yes, it has become more cautious at BlackRock. So the hundreds of millions flowing in here daily, they have definitely become a bit less. But you also have to say that there are currently massive economic data coming up. And these institutional traders don't care whether we're talking about the asset Bitcoin. They're trading that thing and need to realize profits. And yesterday, for example, there were also the outflows. Now we just have to wait and see, since there was a bullish impulse at the very end from Trump, Putin, Zelensky, and the Ukraine-Russia situation, how things will continue today. And that brings us directly to the SEC, or rather, about Ripple. Today, there's an important meeting behind closed doors, just so you know. Now I thought, well, this is just that weekly meeting that they always blow up and says, yeah, something could be discussed there. And then a lawsuit will be filed, and so on. By the way, personally, I don't believe that it will be dropped today, but I'll get to that in a moment. Nevertheless, this meeting today could be very interesting. What is already a fact is that none of us will know what happens there, because this whole session falls under the Sunshine Act. That means it's a confidential discussion. So anyone who's running around out there saying, yeah, but I know, and this will happen, and that will happen. So either he has some insights from people who have declared confidentiality and discretion here, and they just break that promise, or these people are just talking nonsense. So there are only two possibilities. In any case, if you take a closer look here, it is important to note that the agenda comprehensively includes all the legal disputes and injunctions. And we are definitely in the context of Ripple. Well, we've arrived at the first point. Still, one can say, and I recently read something in the comments, down here the SEC, however, remains persistent in its appeal and maintains the uncertainty. Of course, one must not forget that this ruling is a precedent. So that means we're not just talking about, okay, Ripple will probably experience a pump and the XRP ETFs could also come. And everything is beautiful. But on the other hand, this is of course also leading for all the other lawsuits that are out there. So what we have with Coinbase, Binance, and so on, yesterday we just got the information that there is a 60-day suspension of the proceedings. If you haven't seen the video yet, feel free to click here. In any case, I can well imagine that the SEC is being very cautious right now, because this whole thing will trigger a real wave. I have another article here for you, and for me personally, the reason why there won't be a decision today, because James Murphy has summed this up quite well and clearly criticizes the SEC as well as the US senators. The SEC is waiting for a lifeline, and his name is Paul Adkins. Now, one would think that it should be known at some point when the gentleman will be approved by the office. And to this day, there is no scheduled date for when Adkins will actually be approved or not approved by the US senators. And I personally find that very questionable. So I agree with Murphy that they are stalling for time, which of course harms Trump's crypto-friendly regulation. And I definitely believe that some people aren't too keen on this decision coming quickly because, sorry, it's all clear. Trump is in power. He explained that he would like Adkins. So what we're hearing now is that Adkins is also ready to take on the position, but somehow nothing is really happening right now. And now we only have, in quotes, an acting chairman who is also crypto-friendly. But still, everyone is waiting for Adkins to drop any potential lawsuits. We'll get to the trading setup in just a moment. That's with leverage which I've been working with and have now prepared for today. However, there are also ways you can please hold on. And this is not an exaggeration. You can proceed completely without risk. How is this all possible? So I do this, for example, through BitGetBot, because there are many people out there who say, Daniel, I want to make profits, but I don't want to have to deal with it. You won't succeed with leverage because leverage always carries the risk that you can get liquidated. The more leverage, the greater the risk. Very simple. However, if you're working in the spot market like here, and I find that really exciting. I started this thing 41 days ago, and back then it started with 1,275%, and this bot does nothing else but buy XRP when it drops by 1% and sell it again when it rises. So that's it. And this thing has just given me, within these 41 days, it has provided almost 11% profit. Now it gets interesting here, because for everyone who says, yeah, but I want to hold XRP, that's also possible with this BitGetBot. Because if you go to finish here, let me show you, then you can choose, okay, either it will be sold automatically for you, then you'll get USDT, or you sell manually, then you hold still the XRP. I set it up that way on purpose. So if you're interested in something like that, I'll keep it really simple. If you're up for it, check out the description. There's the link to this bot where you can just copy it. As I said, bring the right calmness with you. You're not going to pull out millions, but you can see that something is possible. And for all the active traders out there, just a quick note, I have something for you. I have launched Uptrend VIP Trading. You can see here, you can copy 2 professional traders completely for free. And you see what can be quickly achieved here. You just have to follow certain rules of the game. Sure, there might be some losses, but all in all, the results are really impressive. So, the 2 traders managed to grow a $4,000 account to $30,000 in just 2 months. And like I said, if you're interested in that, it runs, for example, through BingX. Check out the description. You have the link there, the complete explanation of how you can copy all of this. Completely free for you. Just create an account and get started. And so we come to the trading setup. I was asked if I could help manage another account a bit, and I agreed to it, so I'm going to show you that transparently now. With Bitcoin, I currently still have an open position which has been running since yesterday, and it's doing well in the plus. What I did this morning was, on one hand, increase the leverage. So it was previously 4x, and now it's at 7x. I took out a part and reinvested it right away. So you can see here, let's say roughly around 8 to 9% current status in the plus. What I did, however, is set a stop loss down here so that nothing goes wrong, just above the threshold where I would start to go into the negative. So that can't happen. And I have new open orders here. First, we're going to take a look at Bitcoin, these 2, and they are sitting down here. Why did I do that now? If we take a look here again, some people are going to shout and say, yeah, liquidation heat map, exactly. If we take a look here, we can see that it's already lighting up very brightly. Of course, it could be that there's an initial rise up here. It just depends on what today's numbers bring with them. Are they bullish or bearish? That's why I haven't closed the existing position yet. In any case, I placed an order here, or rather just above, to get in on the last candle. Because if it goes further down, it won't go any further. Bad. Down here, I also placed another position at 93.5, which will help reduce my average purchase price. Again, if it goes down further. I can also show you this briefly in trading. Down here, you can see the lower dock of the candle. There's definitely still volume that could be picked up, especially since we can clearly see a downtrend here. So according to Fibonacci, we have an overlap here. And if we look further down, we can see the next volume block, which is right back here. And that's why I placed my 2 positions there, for example. It's similar with XRP. I currently have a limit order at 2.33. Yes, that's exactly the lower wick of this red candle here. Even if we take a quick look at the heat map, we can see that we're right in this range here. Yes, you might say, Daniel, but up there it shines a lot more. Yes, it shines a lot more up there. But you know yourself since yesterday what kind of impact such news can have when you look at this dip. However, it must be said that XRP has beautifully bought back up. So you can basically lay a ruler here. Still, the uptrend has just been a bit broken here. So this will be a wait and see approach. And now we'll see what the numbers reveal, whether we will see another correction down here. Then I can very well imagine that it will continue to go up from here. With Ethereum, I just set 2 limit orders, and it's relatively close, and one that is significantly lower. Why this is happening again, I can show you here. You see, there's a volume block here, and it's worth mentioning that nothing is happening up here right now. So let's wait and see. That's why I entered this range. And down here, at the last green candle, there's also quite a bit to gain. So it's quite conceivable that if we revisit this area, we will also look for support down here again, and that this area will be picked up accordingly. And then we'll see what has built up at that point up here. This is a pilot project, so I'm curious, are you interested in me showing a trading setup like this more often, maybe even daily? Write that in the comments, otherwise I'm also curious about what you think will happen today. How will the numbers turn out? How will the market react? What's happening with XRP? I'm really curious about your opinion. Feel free to discuss that in the comments, and if you like the video, please leave a like. I'm really excited because it really boosts the algorithm. In conclusion, I can give you the tip to check out this video. I'm talking about how Ripple and Swift are not competitors at all. Yeah, that sounds crazy now, but I'll explain it in there. So feel free to check it out. Otherwise, we'll see each other tomorrow in the next video. Until then, all the best. Bye.